and the Monkey Lord continues to wreak havoc on the units of Momo Uchina, but it's surely going to go down here, and it gets another level of veterancy at about 200 hit points. What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome along to episode 26 of the Supreme Commander Force Alliance Forever Community Cast Library. I'm back from my most recent hiatus, and I'm sure you've all missed me dearly and you can't wait for me to get cracking again. So with that in mind, we're going to try and kick straight in. I just need to give a quick shout out for some replays. Today's replay predates the T3, T2 rebalancing. That's because I've got no replays to go off, so if you would all be so good to start submitting your awesome replays to me once again, that would be greatly appreciated. My in-game name currently is Paraplegic Sloth, so please feel free to hit me up. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get going. Hello and welcome along to a 6 vs 6 on the 10x10 map Adaptive Wonder Open. This is of course Wonder without the side mountains. We're going to call this team in the top left hand segment corner of the map Team 1, and the team in the bottom right hand segment of the map Team 2. We're going to do things a little bit differently for this one. This is a trial run, so I need lots of feedback into how it goes. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover the first 2 to 3 minutes of Team 1, so we can get a more in-depth look at the opening build orders from the players of Team 1 and what they do. And then we're going to cut to the beginning of the match again and do the exact same thing with Team 2. So I'm hoping that'll give a bit more detail to people that want to see a bit more detail, because when we're playing it's just difficult to keep track of everyone, especially in a 6 vs 6. So I hope this format works out. It's a little bit more work intensive for me, so I kind of need to know if it's worth me doing this. So guys, please don't hesitate on the feedback. Right, so let's crack on with this stuff, and we're gonna start off with Team 1 going into the air slot and opening up as Cybran. First land coming in at 1700, it's Pucky. Next up for Team 1 on the left flank going Aeon. First land coming in at 1500, it is Point Here We Come. Next up it's Blade Sorrow going UEF. First land coming in at 1300, and in the absolute center of Team 1 we have Artifacts also going UEF, also 1300, opening up first land. And then on the right center for Team 1 going Space Pirate Alien Shenanigans. First land coming in at 1400, it is Momo Uchina. And then finally on the right hand flank for Team 1 going Aeon, coming in at 1400, it is Septim. So everyone opening with first land on Team 1. Septim's first engineer is going straight for the Hydro, as his commander opens up the 4 mechs builds. We've got adjacency on one of the mass extractors for Septim, as does Momo, but Momo has gone first land. First engineer has started building the Hydro. His first engineer is then off to do some mass extractors, and his second engineer assists the Hydro. But Momo, being intentionally slow to open up the final 2 mass extractors in his core area. We've got this scout out from Momo. That's probably just to give a little bit of intelligence. Artifacts opening first land, and we've got 2 T1 P-gens. It was probably done in the order of the first 2 mass extractors, 2 P-gens, 2 mass extractors, and now he's moving his ACU to assist the Hydro. Taking a look at Pucky's opening shenanigans, and Pucky's gone first land with adjacency to one of the mass extractors. That mass extractor has also had 2 P-gens built around it as well. Then he's gone the Hydro, and we've got second and third air queued up for Pucky, with a lot of T1 power queued up thereafter. We've got manual reclaim orders also going out from Pucky here. He isn't just sending his engineers to build the mass extractors, they're doing a couple of manual reclaim orders as they go along. And coincidentally, if you don't know, he's almost immediately start. Well, we're on 2 minutes and he's just about started upgrading this mass extractor. So before he's even branched out into his core area, he's upgrading this mass extractor. That's the reason why he's put the 2 T1 P-gens down there to lessen the cost. And going down to Blade Sorrow. Blade Sorrow looks like he's opened up with the first land. Obviously he's rushed the Hydro with the core mexes, and we've now got a 3rd land factory, and all of his land factories are getting or will have adjacency bonuses to the mass extractors. We look like we've got a footprint going down here for possibly 4th or 5th air for Blade Sorrow. And then finally, if we come down to Point Here We Come, who's opened up first land, once again taking up adjacency. So it's a real theme on the kind of upper rankings here. A lot of players, you've got to take up the adjacency on the mass extractors to cheapen the units that you build, and everyone's been doing that. And we'll cut on this guy later. But so I think that just about concludes the opening stuff for Team 1. There's a bit of variety there, but generally we've got rushed hydros with land factories all sharing mass extractors, and a couple of the players have gone for early T2 upgrades on a max point. So we can see here Artifacts has done it, and obviously Pucky in the air slot is in the latter stages of his getting to T2. Whereas if we look at Septim just looks like he's going land until the cows come home. We've got no upgrades on mass extractors for Septim here. His economy is reasonably well balanced. He's still got kind of 300 mass in the bank, but he's probably saving that to be spent on the preceding 3 land factories that are going down. So Septim there I'm picking out as very spam centric opening, and we'll see how things progress. So let's jump into Team 2 now. So for Team 2 in the air slot we have Cullis going UEF and coming in at 1400. Down on the left hand flank we have Illuminate 1 and doing something weird. Coming in at 1800 going Cybran. We will check back in with Illuminate 1 in a sec, but he is going 1st and 2nd P-Gen with his ACU. No factory as of yet. Next up for Team 2 going Cybran, coming in at 1200. It is Mac going first land. And next we have Maverick UEF coming in at 1400. And then on the right center for Team 2 going UEF coming in at 1800, it is Sui who's gone first land. And then on the right hand flank for Team 2 going UEF and coming in at 1300, it is Never going first land. 4 core maxes, first engineer rushes the Hydro. That is the bog standard generic opening. Sui, a little bit more complicated. We've got first land, 2 T1 P-Gens followed by 2 mass extractors, and the first 2 engineers off the line are on the Hydro, and then his engineer finishing off the last 2 core maxes. Just going to jump into Sui and how does his economy cope with that. So he's going to be really close to a power stall here, I think. Okay, no he isn't. When his ACU finishes building, it recovers. Maverick, bog standard opening by the looks of things. Same again with Mac. That's also coincidentally, we've got 3 players on Team 2 not taking adjacency to the mass extractors. Alright, let's jump into this and see what's cracking here. So Illuminate 1 has gone 3 T1 power generators, air factory, and up here we can see he's gone first Jester, 2nd air scout. So this is actually his 3rd unit off the line on a very late factory. So Illuminate 1, 3 T1 P-Gens, air factory, core maxes, First engineer is going straight to the hydro, while his ACU finishes off a T1 PGen. Economy wise, that will be very close to the wire to mass starving Illuminate 1, and he is mass stalling ever so slightly now. But such are the perils of going first Jester. Okay, I think that concludes. Did we look at Corliss? No, we haven't been back to Corliss yet. So, Corliss gone first land, and we've gone straight to second air. We've now got T1 PGens queuing up around the first land factory, and then we've got combination move orders going around from the engineers. I can see that some reclaim has also been done, so very similar to Pucky. Corliss would have had his engineers going out doing a little bit of manual reclaim on the way to putting up the mass extractors, and indeed Corliss's final mass extractor just completing that. So that wraps up the opening for both teams. Let me know what you think of this, if this is the way to go, or just go back to the way it's traditionally kind of done. And now let's skip back to about 2.5-3 minutes, and we'll start picking up on the actual action. And here we go. So having looked at Illuminate's opening build, we can see he's gone first Jester, and he's got the second air scout out to give the required intel, and immediately this Jester going to work on expansion engineers belonging to Point Here We Come, and its third victim is imminently about to perish, and there goes its fourth. Point is quick to start producing some T1 AA. I think it's thistles for Aeon. Yeah, it is. And now the Jester going to work on this rear mechs for Point. The thistles in hot pursuit over land. And a little mistake here by Illuminate 1, I think, not deciding to send this Jester onto maybe Blade Sorrow's base or even Pucky's at the back. Probably because it's a real gimped opening that Illuminate 1's given himself, and he needs to inflict maximum damage on his opponent. So, has this paid for itself? Well, let's just take a look at that. If we go into Point Here We Come, we've got the core maxes up, but not at the back. And if we jump into Illuminate 1, so I don't think it's paid for itself. Point Here We Come is still slightly ahead in terms of build progress, in terms of income. Point Here We Come will have a slightly higher income right now as opposed to his opponent Illuminate 1. So I don't think the Jester quite managed to pay for itself, but that would have really fucked with the micro, and it would have messed with Point's head for sure, I think, having to change things up just to try and deal with that. We've got ACUs making their way to the middle. In fact, Maverick has crossed the halfway line of the map, and presumably to get some reclaim in, but he's actually just going into some construction. Wants to get that forward mass extractor, and now he's falling back. Over on the right hand side, we highlighted Septim is a very spam centric opening. He's got lots of adjacency on his mass extractors, and he's got lots of land factories going down, and already we see a substantial difference in the number of units between he and his opponent Nether. Nether opening up very differently to Corliss, so we've got no adjacency on the mass extractors for Nether, and Nether also putting in early eco into upgrading some mass extractors. I don't like the e-storage where it is, just saying. So Nether has got his comm forward, and he needs to try and repel the early aggression of Septim, and Septim following up his tirade of early T1 land spam with his own ACU. No one going for, well, neither of these two going for any upgrades there. We just see Artifacts completing a T2 upgrade on belonging to Team 1, Blade Sorrow also in the latter stages of a gun upgrade. And down on the left hand side here, we've got Point Here We Come marching his ACU straight down the throat of Illuminate One with very little units in support. Illuminate One just backing off slightly with this comm and turning his attention to the supporting units. And at the back here, behind the ACU of Illuminate One, we see the aforementioned player just pulling up his T1 units here as he starts to bear them forward. And now Point Here We Come looks like he's made a misjudgment here. I think Point thought that going first Jester, Illuminate One would be really vulnerable and underdeveloped. He was in a sense, but he's waited a little bit too long to do this, and now the units go in, and Point Here We Come is not looking long for this world. Illuminate One's definitely got a very cheap gift here, and Point Here We Come is going to be our first victim. And wow, there's not a whole lot you can say about that. Back in the middle, and Mac looks like he's slightly overextended as well, pushing everything he's got into Blade Sorrow. Blade Sorrow looked like he had a stash of units, but they've been picked off. But Mac's ACU's definitely fared the worst in that exchange. Mac now backing off with his units and ACU. Maverick was just edging over to support, but quickly has to redeploy his ACU to a more central position to repel an early push from Momo Uchina. And checking in with Sui, whose 5% T2 upgrade paused, but back on the right hand side now. And Nether looked like he'd taken the top right expansion really early here, but Septim now effortlessly wiping that out with the distinctive numerous numbers advantage that he's got here in terms of unit count. And if we just jump into Septim, and we've got 70-80 units in the mix for Septim now. Septim going into, what was that? Into gun upgrade, so Aeon going range, and Nether just completing his own gun upgrade as well. There's an attack pin going down in the middle here as Maverick starts to try to funnel some units in between the lines of Momo Uchina and Artifacts, but they're going to be picked off pretty easily. And Sui here down to half health. I can tell you that Sui left his upgrade paused, and some of the T1 Arty were given too much time on Sui's comm, but we have to keep an eye on the action on the top right flank of the map here as Septim rushes the second gun upgrade on his comm. We haven't checked in with Nether to see what kind of units he's packing, but we've got 10 units on the side of Nether, and we confirmed around 70 to 80 units on the side of Septim here. So Septim seeing the advantage. I think he smells blood in the water, but Nether faring really well with his ACU up front, taking out a lot of the units here, one-shotting, and as a result of that he's quite quickly building up veterancy. Septim with no T1 units to shoot is left to only focus on the ACU of Nether, but as a result of that he's losing health and he's not getting the veterancy. And Nether now on his second level of veterancy. We've got Nether trying to put up some T1 point defense, but of course the Aeon range upgrade on that gun can outrange the PD. And Septim just needs to bear forward with his units as quickly as he can here. Nether looks like he's moving in for the kill here as Septim drops ever lower. He's now under 3,000 hit points. He's managed to get his first level of vet, but Nether's on his second, and the hit point, oh, this might take out both. It's going to be really close here. And the units just at the end, you can see that Never's ACU just about survived the explosion of Septim's ACU, but just before the tanks went up within that explosion radius, they just got off a few volleys which tickled Nether from existence. So Never ever so slightly unlucky there, but back in the center, the frantic rage between these two teams continues to exchange, and we've got Momo Uchina now, who's deep into the red and at a critical juncture there, picking up the 3rd level of veterancy. He was a goner there. Maverick had him dead to rights, but now Maverick's the one that's going to go pop as Pucky swoops in with some Corsairs. And that was so lucky for Momo Uchina. That level of veterancy, or words cannot describe. Momo quickly redrawing his ACU despite the fact that Maverick was killed. So Sui here in quick succession, left isolated as the teammate either side of him perishes. It's amazing how much, even at a good level, good standard of play, how much luck still has influence on the outcome of these matches. Just take Momo Uchina's level in veterancy there, saving his life, and then on the other side of the equation, we've got Nether, who survived the initial comm explosion by a gnat's cock, and then was just tickled away by a couple of T1 tanks. Such margins decide the outcomes of matches, and that is one of the many reasons why this game is an absolute fucking epic. So there's a little bit of a lull now as both teams try to plug the gaps that have been gouged out in them. Momo Uchina looking to spread to the top right hand part of the map to fill the void left by Septim. Mac looks like he's taking the brunt of responsibility, filling in the vacated spot left by Maverick, while Sui frantically trying to get to grips with Team 2's right hand flank now, repelling Momo Uchina. But back on the left hand, in the bottom left hand corner, we've got Artifacts trying to maneuver a little party of mainly T2 pillars flanking Illuminate 1. I'm assuming he's going to try and cut them right along the bottom and get into some nice, easy, high value targets of cap T2 mexes. And indeed that looks like the plan, and it doesn't look like there's going to be much in the way to stop him. We've got more Corsairs coming in from Pucky there on the ACU of Mac, and there's an air exchange between Pucky and Corliss now, as Corliss having to try and dispatch these Corsairs, and indeed manages to do so. A second pass won't be allowed over the ACU of Mac, and both air players withdrawing their interceptors now. But if we just check in with air, we've got 32 on the side of Pucky in terms of air units, and only 14 on the side of Corliss. So Pucky with a distinct air advantage right now. He perhaps, I don't know if he realizes that, but, well, actually saying that, there's a lot of AA from Illuminate 1. And Artifacts' raiding parties made it along the bottom of the map. They haven't yet managed to take out any kind of high value target, as Illuminate 1 has managed to scramble together a pursuing force of rhinos. And that that pillar for Artifacts just straggling behind the main group there, and Illuminate 1 managing to pick it off, and that's evened out the numbers here in the exchange, and that's now going to favour Illuminate 1. So a little bit of poor micro from Artifacts there. I think that could have been a bit more successful than it was. And is that TML? Yes, we've got some TML on the field. Where is it? Could have sworn I saw a TML missile, but I can't find the launcher. So Mac getting up some TMD and some T2 PD as well to try and repel the sporadic pushes of Blade Sorrow. Back over on the right hand side, and Momo Uchina looking to flank Sui with a party of T1 units mainly comprised of Thams and Zuis, and those units overcoming the defense being offered by Sui. But Sui's got his ACU popped out onto the right hand side now, and he looks like he's queuing up a fire base here with his ACU, and that kind of leaves the front door a little bit open here for Momo Uchina if he scouts out that opportunity. We're at 15 minutes now, and we've got Corliss on T3R and Pucky for Team 1 is at T3R, but Pucky has also got his T3 power online as well, so Corliss still in the process of doing that. He's nearly there. Is that a strat for Corliss building there? That's ambitious given the air deficiency right now. Blade Sorrow in the center, looking like he's trying to set up a fire base with his ACU. Mac just maneuvering his units along the front line here as he also uses his ACU. We've got TML on the field from Mac as well now. Both teams just jostling for position, trying to edge in on the opponent. And Blade Sorrow pushing in now with a mixture of T1 and T2. It's a poor decision, he's not going to get very far. We've now got gunships from Corliss being offered in defense against Blade Sorrow as well. Blade Sorrow has actually managed to find a gap in the lines between Illuminate 1 and Mac and is driving down that gap with his units here, but Illuminate 1's ACU is well positioned to deal with this, and also the gunships dispatched by Corliss will do a good job. Air still looking like it's just about on the side of Pucky, and there's another air exchange that's about to take place here. There's a lot of interceptors with no fuel in for Pucky, and that air engagement just turning out to be a small skirmish. Pretty sure that Corliss is going to lose the stray ASF here, and indeed he does. So let's just take a quick ASF count on the two air players, and we've got 9 ASF on the side of Pucky and Corliss, and 2 ASF on the side of Corliss. So air superiority is still in the favour of Pucky for the time being. But we just saw a strat there, and I don't know quite where it went, but it doesn't seem to have been particularly useful. And we've now got a push from artifacts, and there's a salvo of TML going out from Mac there, and that actually hit the ACU of artifacts while artifacts was on the move. We've got Corsairs moving in from Pucky. I'm not quite sure what the target was, but it wasn't particularly high value. But artifacts still managing to push through the forward position offered up by Mac, and Mac is now in full retreat with his ACU, and artifacts just goes into reclaiming the high value items left in the form of wreckage by Mac, and now he's pulling back what remains of his push. That was a nice TML volley by Mac there. If artifacts hadn't had the shield upgrade on his comm, artifacts would probably require a new pair of underpants right now. Back over on the right hand side of Momo Uchina trying to flank the position of Sui once again, coming right down this right hand edge of the map. But Sui now, he's had a little time to prepare this firebase, and he has got some PD online, and Sui also recalling all of his units here over to the right hand flank to bear a defense against the push of Momo Uchina. Momo still passing up on a very slight opportunity to perhaps come in through the front door and cause some issues that way. Over on the left hand side, and we've got Illuminate 1 just mopping up another push from Team 1, defending it off with a Loyalist there. And we've got the ACU of Pucky now on a laser upgrade. Blade Sorrow continues to dig himself in on the firebase that he's got going. He's also got some T2 stealth there as well. We've got a T3 upgrade going down on Artifactor's ATU. ATU, what the fuck's that? So we're going to use this opportunity just to take a quick peek at economy and see how everyone is faring. We've got Coolest right now topping the charts on a mass income of 184. Power income is at 20. The highest power income is actually 22, which is Pucky. Pucky bringing up third place for mass income with 120. In second place for mass income, it is Artifacts on 124. And then way back in third, or even third, it's Momo Uchina on 105 mass income. Let's take a quick look at Reclaim. There's a whole lot of Reclaim on this map. I forgot to do a Reclaim heat map at the beginning, but Reclaim is king on this map, so Reclaim, a really important statistic. And topping that chart is Illuminate 1 with 22,000 Reclaim. Second place we have Corliss with 18,000, and in third it's Pucky with 13,000. So there's a huge gap there between Corliss and Illuminate 1 of Team 2 and the top rating player on Team 1 with the highest Reclaim of 13,000. So Team 2 definitely getting way ahead in the Reclaim stakes, and actually third or fourth place overall Sui with 14,000 income. So he's third place on Team 2 in terms of Reclaim. Is actually reclaimed more than the highest reclaiming player on Team 1, which now coincidentally is Blade Sorrow, so whatever. So that's a recap on economy. So Team 2 look like they're faring better on eco. Sui's doing a pretty solid job of shoring things up here on the right hand flank for Team 2. On the left, Illuminate 1, he's having to repel a lot of joint pushes from Blade Sorrow and Artifacts, but he still looks like he's holding relatively strong. The air game looks pretty strong for Team 1. Course, well, he was at a deficiency of ASF, but let's just take a quick peek and see if that's still the case. So we've got 28 ASF on the field for Pucky now, and jumping into Corliss, we can see 19. So Pucky still with the air advantage, but Pucky seems quite insistent on mixing in some gunships here where, well, I suppose Pucky is still producing a few Corsairs, but Pucky, in terms of numbers, in charge of the air game right now, but the gap has narrowed over the last few minutes between the two air opponents, and there's just a general scout out that's gone over there from Pucky as he sees what the enemy is up to. He's also scouting out the potential progress that this party might make as they continue to try and raid the left flank of Illuminate 1. Illuminate 1 actually in the latter stages of a Monkey Lord here. Now I wonder if that scouts from Pucky has seen the Monkey Lord. I don't think they have. So that's going to be really interesting here as this unscouted Monkey Lord makes its way forward. What's going to happen with it? On the right hand side, Sui's decided the time is now to push up the middle. Momo Uchina focusing down on the T3 unit there of Sui. Momo, those Zuis are just evil, and I actually think that Momo is going to be able to repel that push from Sui. Momo also counter-attacking, raiding on the right hand side, but he's going to come across this firebase and not get too much joy The spider is done. Where's it queued up for? Nowhere just yet. And there's the Corsairs are coming in from Pucky, taking out the Percivals of Sui. So that's definitely going to help Momo Uchina repel that push with relative ease, and that will also offer up some serious reclaim opportunity there for Momo Uchina. We've got a push coming up from Illuminate 1 now on the left flank, but Artifacts also pushing forward, countering with more units. I still don't think Team 1 have seen this Monkey Lord, and it's quickly approaching the unsuspecting ACU of Artifacts, and there are frantic attack pings going over the ACU of Artifacts, and the Monkey Lord makes its entrance, and Artifacts, well, not a lot he can do in that situation. He's going to go poof. Artifacts just chucking all of his stuff as quickly as he could over to Pucky. Artifacts just asking in team chat there, did we see the spider? I'm pretty sure the answer to that, Artie, is nope. And we've got a counter push down the center now from Momo Uchina, and he's into the high value targets of Sui's base, and he's taken out Sui's T3 land HQ there. Great piece of insertion there from Momo, straight through the front door, taking out the high priority target, and that's going to really cripple Sui's ability to compete over the coming minutes. And there's attack pings going out on the ACU of Pucky. Pucky did finish that laser, and he's also got range, so Pucky's not going to have too much trouble finishing off what's left on the Monkey Lord. And Illuminate 1 pulling the Monkey Lord back. Very wise decision there from Illuminate 1. Many lesser player would have sent that monkey to die on the ACU of Pucky there. But the wise old head on Illuminate's shoulders knows better. Momo continuing to press his advantage now through the front door of Illuminate Sui, apologies. And Sui now losing his core structures. We've got gunships being sent forward by Corliss in response. And we do have ASF here circling near the front lines from Pucky, and the attack ping only now just going out over the gunships. There is some T2 flak in the mix for Momo, so the gunships didn't do too much damage, but the ASF are scrambling for Pucky. They get in and take out the gunships, but that's a horrendous turn, and Corliss is right in behind the formation of Pucky's ASF, and in one foul swoop right there, Pucky just lost air control. I'm pretty sure we've got 10 ASF on the field for Pucky. He still hasn't refueled those T1 interceptors. And if we jump into Corliss, 37 ASF on the field now from Corliss. So just like that, in one foul swoop, in one evil turn, was that luck, was that skill? The outcome doesn't matter. So Corliss now with a pretty substantial air advantage. Momo Uchina causing Sui all sorts of problems now, and also compounded by the fact that the Monkey Lord from Illuminate 1 has been rediverted to converge with the units of Momo Uchina, and Sui's ACU looking in danger now. I still don't know whether that Monkey Lord's got enough health to be too much of an issue, but it starts to go to work on the units of Momo, and it's a good job that Illuminate 1 rediverted that monkey. I think it's just going to be enough to keep him alive. And the Monkey Lord focusing down on the offhams of Momo, but those Ilshivas still taking it back deep into the red. The Monkey Lord is now on its second level of veterancy, however, so it has got some health regen starting to crank up. Sui choosing to leave the safety of his firebase with his ACU, and I don't know whether he's chasing down the units of Momo or he's just moving up to do some reclaim, but it's the thing. Another air engagement taking place, and Corliss now getting to work on Pucky. And Corliss has freed up the skies above Pucky, and Pucky is down to half health actually. I'm not sure what I missed that. But we've got gunships rolling in over the hills now, being sent forward by Corliss. And there's even a broadsword in that mix. There's 2 broadsword in that mix. The third one bringing up the rear. And Pucky doesn't look like he's going to survive this. The ASF offering an iron-gripped defense over the skies above Pucky's ACU, taking out all incoming ASF that Pucky is frantically trying to scramble in defense. And there goes the ACU. And Corliss, being behind for most of this match in air, now kills his mirror. And the Monkey Lord continues to wreak havoc on the units of Momo Uchina, but it's surely going to go down here. It gets another level of veterancy at about 200 hit points, giving it another boost, and the Monkey Lord just about manages to sneak away. There's been so many, yeah. Undead Monkey got vet on 300 HP. I saw it, I've told them. Wow. We've had some serious levels of vet in this game. I mean, the level of vet on Momo's com when he was like down to 200 health. That monkey. There's something else I'm sure that I've forgotten. So Sui looking to rebuild his core area now. He needs to get a T3 land factory as soon as possible. And Momo needs to get some serious spam on and push the advantage while he's still got it. Team 2 just edging forward with the indestructible Monkey Lord of Illuminate Ones, supported by some T2 Hoplites of Mac. And we've got gunships now with free reign to kill whom they like, and I do see the ACU of Blade Sorrow here aimlessly standing around in the middle of nowhere, and the gunships now focusing down on the ACU of Blade Sorrow. Blade Sorrow does have shield on his ACU, but it's going to evaporate very quickly, and Momo Uchina diverting some T3 mobile shield over to the ACU of Blade Sorrow, and it just about makes it under in time. But the shields of the mobile gen aren't going to last forever, and they go down. And now Blade Sorrow makes it under another mobile shield gen. But surely this is just delaying the inevitable. And here we go. Blade Sorrow bites the dust. Corliss ruling the skies, claiming his second victim. And the combination of Corliss's airplay with the gunships and the indestructible Monkey Lord of Illuminate One have really brought this home for Team 2. It was in the balance for a long time, and now Corliss focusing down on the ACU of Momo Uchina. Momo Uchina just accepting his fate, it would seem. He's not moving his ACU. He's trying to move all of the T2 and T3 AA he's got pumping out of his base, but it's not going to be enough as this broadsword just comes up the rear, and just like that, my side guy died in 6 minutes ... Well, I thought that was a cracking game. I think there's a little bit of complaining here about the balance. Unbalanced side. Well, I mean, you could say that, but you could also say that the 1700 rated Pucky versus the 1400 rating Corliss should have been unbalanced, but it wasn't. So That's just the swings and roundabouts of this magnificent game that we play. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's go ahead and take a look at this stuff. So Call is claiming 3 scalps there. Pucky just the Corsair snipe. Septim getting the early kill on Nether, and an Illuminate one with the 2 kills. Artifacts, and I can't remember. Oh, of course, it was Point Here We Come early on as well. Taking a look at the categories, Momo Uchina winning stuff built and stuff killed, but Septim bringing home categories of mass income and power income. Player of the match for this one is pretty clear cut. The 2 categories there going to Corliss, but also the 3 crucial kills that Corliss managed to get throughout that match. When he turned the screw of air control, he took out the air player, and then he took out 2 of the mid players as well with those gunships. So Corliss comfortably man of the match for this one. Illuminate one with a nice showing as well with the indestructible Monkey Lord, the eccentric and exciting opening from Illuminate one with the first Jester was good to see as well. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the content. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to leave comments on what you think of the new structure at the beginning of the replays. Let me know what you think, whether it's good or bad, any ideas on anything that I could conceivably do to make it a little bit more smooth and interesting. Alright guys, take care, thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one.